Hello, in this video I'm going to share with you one of the biggest secrets of the driving test that only the very best master driving instructors know and understand. Did you know that when you take a driving test you are marked on symptoms, not root causes? In other words, what you think you failed on wasn't what you failed on. So let me explain this. Let's take the most common reason for failing the driving test for years in a row, which is junctions observation. Let's just say you failed on that and your driving instructor takes you out working on junctions and they're looking at how well you observe. No, that's wrong. That's not what you do, because let's break down what you actually failed on. So what do you need to be good at taking observations at junctions? Well, first of all, you need good clutch control, because you must know how to use the clutch properly. That means not doing the clutch on its own, not holding the brake pedal down and lifting the clutch. It's doing it properly with gas, clutch, creeping, and understanding what the clutch is and how it works. That's one of the skills you need. What else though do you need to be good at junctions? Well, steering. So you see, the point is, when you're really good at being a driving instructor and you understand what you're doing, truly, you don't work directly on what people failed on. Let's take another example, parallel parking. If you fail at parking, people often come to me over the years and say, I'll keep failing on parking, I just can't do it, it's impossible. So I'll say, okay, we're going to go and do this. And I will take people out practicing clutch control. And I've got a whole list in my head of things that people need to be able to do. Do you understand why it's gas and clutch? Do you know why you mustn't press the brake, hold it down and lift the clutch with the brake on? Do you know all these things? It can be other things like people's feet aren't positioned properly on the pedals. And these are things that many instructors never think of. If you look at the people's feet, you might notice the pedal is there and the foot's barely on the pedal. A lot of people just don't put the foot enough on the pedal. So for my 20 plus years of experience of being a driving instructor, I can run through this massive checklist of things and I think, they're not doing that, they're not doing that, not doing that. So we go away, we don't work on the parking, we work on other things. So if you start to tell me that you can't park, I'll probably take you to a hill with no other cars. You think, what are we doing here? Because there's no other cars. We practice clutch control properly. What about your steering? Your steering might be off. You may not be holding the wheel in the best way. You can cross your arms or whatever, but there are different ways of looking at that. There are many, many things you need to have in place which result in you being able to park a car. So you see, if you fail on junctions, it's because you didn't have the right things in place that allow you to do junctions. If you failed on parallel parking, it's not because you can't park, because many instructors have methods like line the mirror up with this, now turn the wheel this much, no, I said line that up with that, and you can't line it up. Why? The instructor thinks it's because you're not listening. No, it's because they haven't taught you how to clutch control properly, and you can't control the car at a low speed, which means you can't line things up. If you go and practice the clutch control and the clutch work and getting that correct, then you'll find the lining things up easier. So you see how a true master instructor understands. You never work directly on the problem. Now, where did I learn all this? Where did I get this from? Well, it's partly because of my work as a hypnotherapist. If you don't know, as well as being a driving instructor for over 20 years, and I've taught over 1,000 people and hundreds of instructors, and I've made about 1,000 videos since 2008. I also work as an online hypnotherapist, and I help people overcome their fear of driving anxiety. Now, this is not just people who get a bit scared, a bit nervous. I work with people who have massive panic attacks, meltdowns. I've worked with many people who have had to pull over and they're shaking like this, and they're sweating and they're crying, they're vomiting. They have to phone the police to come and give them an escort off the motorway. I've had people who, just when they pick up the car keys, they have a huge panic attack and they start shaking and sweating. That isn't the problem, because driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving. It's nothing to do with it. The driving is triggering off a past event from their life. I won't get too much into this because I've done this in other videos, but when you go driving, it triggers off an event from your past which you're reliving in your unconscious, and it comes out as driving anxiety. So driving instructors who say, oh, have you got fear of driving? Take my anxiety busting course. Go out driving or go driving on motorways. Won't do anything, because driving anxiety has nothing to do with driving. You see, that's a symptom. The root cause is something from your past which is playing on your mind. You won't even know this. And it's the same. That's how I put it into my driving lessons. I thought, you know what? Parking's nothing to do with parking. They can't park because of their clutch, their steering, their observation. I won't give away all my secrets because I know exactly what it is. And many times people have come to me, I've heard this dozens, probably hundreds of times. People say, this is weird. When I learn to drive with you, it's easy. I can just do it. And I've had people park the car first time in under a minute. And they say, what? I can't do that. I've been having lessons for years and I can't do it. Because you're working on the wrong things. You were working on the parking, right? Yeah, we used to spend all lesson parking. That's why you can't park. Because it's nothing to do with parking. Your clutch control was poor. So I took you to a hill and we worked on clutch control. And we worked on your steering. I'm keeping to the same examples because I don't want to give you all the examples that I know of. But that's what we're doing. People say, I don't get it. I had trouble parking and you took me to a quiet hill and now I can park. Because the quiet hill allowed you to practice the clutch work. That was the problem, not the parking. So you see, the massive secret of the driving test is you didn't fail on what you think you did. If you get marked down on Junctions observation, that's not what I need to work on. Now, I made another video where I went out in the car and demonstrated this. That's about 17 minutes long. So check that video out on the screen now. Check out my other videos too and visit my website firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.